Solving and graphing two-step inequalities. When graphing inequalities, a closed circle means that this value is included in the solution. The two symbols you will have a closed circle on are the greater than and equal to and less than and equal to symbols. An open circle indicates that the value is not included in the solution set. So a less than or greater than symbol will have an open circle. The steps for solving two-step inequalities is first to combine the constants. That means you will always undo adding and subtracting first. The second step is to isolate the variable. To do that, you must either undo multiplication or division. The last step we will do today is to graph. In this example, 3x minus 2 is greater than 10. We are subtracting 2, so the opposite or inverse of that is to add 2. If we do it on one side, you must add 2 to the other side. Minus 2 and plus 2 will cancel out. The only thing left is 3x. Bring down your greater than symbol, and when you add, you get 12. The next step is to isolate the variable by either undoing multiplication or division using its inverse. When a letter is next to a number, that means we are multiplying, so the inverse of multiplication is to divide. Since we were multiplying x by 3, the inverse of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. If we do it on one side, we must do it to the other. We have x is greater than 4. Since we did not divide by a negative, we keep our symbol. The greater than symbol indicates an open circle. X is greater than 4, which means x is all of the numbers in the entire world greater than 4. Inequalities have infinite many solutions. So to indicate all of the numbers greater than 4, we will shade our graph to the right to cover all the numbers greater than 4. Some things to remember. The first thing to remember is that the graph of an inequality shows all the solutions of the inequality on the number line. The next thing to remember is that each number in the shaded area of the graph makes the inequality true. And the last and most important thing that you need to remember is that anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, you must flip the inequality symbol. So remember, you must flip the inequality symbol whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number. Here we have 5x plus 2 is less than or equal to 17. Our goal is to get 5x alone by itself. To do that, we have to get rid of this adding 2. To get rid of adding 2, you use the inverse, which is subtracting 2. If you do it on one side, you must do it to the other. 5x comes down, our 2's cancel. On the other side, we end up with 15. Since x is being multiplied by 5, the inverse of multiplying by 5 is to divide by 5. If you do it on one side, you must do it to the other. We end up with x is less than or equal to 3. Since we divided by a positive, we do not flip the sign. Now we need to graph it. The number that needs to be on our number line is the number 3. We are going to make a sketch. So I'm only going to put the number 3 because these are the most important things for a graph. Since it is less than or equal to, we will have a closed circle on the number 3. X is all of the numbers in the world less than or equal to 3. Well, less than, you will shade the graph to the left. So this is the graph for our inequality. It needs to have a closed circle on the number 3, shaded to the left. Let's take a look at this next one. We have a negative, so we are going to put that negative with the 5. Our goal is to get this term isolated by itself on the left of this inequality. So since we have adding 6, we need to subtract 6 from both sides. Our 6's cancel out. Negative 3 minus 6 is a negative 9, and we are left with x divided by negative 5 on the left-hand side. Since we are dividing by negative 5, the inverse of that will be to multiply by negative 5. Whatever you do on one side of the inequality, you must do to the other. Our negative 5's will cancel, leaving us with x, and negative 9 times negative 5 is a positive 45. Since we multiplied by a negative number, we must flip our symbol. Remember, on a number line, numbers to the left are less and numbers to the right are greater. The most important number that needs to be on our number line is the number 45. This states that x is less than 45, so x needs to be all the numbers less than 45. There will be an open circle since it is the less than symbol, and we will shade to the left to signify all the numbers less than 45.